how much did New Jersey play a part in you developing who what your character is now?
I can say New Jersey definitely became a root of what my character is because to a certain extent, I have a lot of people that they say they wish they were me. They wish I was in in my skin with the way I'm living and the way I'm working because a lot of people don't feel like them they have to just be a working person. They can't live their dream and challenge and push themselves to the limit. I had literally some people call me and say, Corey, you're making me believe that I can still do it because you're doing what you're doing now. And I use that as a saying that the city, I basically try to represent the city in my through my character because my character is based off of a comic book character, which I'm a big fan of, which is Luke Cage. And a lot of people don't understand that simple story. Sometimes you got to become what you hate to protect what you love, and it's to the point where I love wrestling so much that if I got to become hated to protect it, so be it.
I like that. Yeah, that
I
was
like that.
deep.
And
Yeah.
and like I said, going back again with New Jersey. I'm sorry, I went a little deep, but New Jersey. I remember the times where I used to walk around the block and it felt safe, and then at one point I couldn't even walk around the block even at night. So like the way how I feel when certain shows and certain matches, I bring those feelings and those frustrations and those thoughts with me in the ring and how I move around and how I hold my demeanor. Because like anybody knows when you're in any type of hood, if you walk around like you soft, you're gonna get walked over. If you walk like you're a threat, nobody gonna try to touch you unless somebody wants to challenge. And I keep it like that.
Mm.
Talk about your first opportunity with professional wrestling when you first got started training. What was that transition like for you?
It's fun. That transition was actually fairly natural. So a lot of people don't know this. Well, I didn't share it as often till now, but I did do backyard, but it was inadvertently because while I was in college, I was just trying to get my degree, trying to figure out what's my next chapter in my life, and I was hanging out with some of my friends and college friends, and we would start talking about wrestling, and I said, you know what, give me a day. I made a storyline for Dolph Ziggler at the time where he wasn't really getting booked 'cause, people wanted him to be champ. So I made my storyline for it. They loved it. All of a sudden, one person came to me and said, "Hey, I got a YouTube channel, and we do wrestling." And I said this very respectfully: "You're dumb. I'm not gonna join to be a wrestler. You're not trained. I don't know what the y'all talking about." He said, "I don't want you to be a wrestler. I want you to be a writer." I was like,
Mm.
"Oh, okay." And then I found out the place they perform at is literally around the corner from my crib. So I was like, I'm off on Fridays. I went there the first day. I'm clearly the oldest person there. Every person I'm seeing there, I'm 20. I was 26 at the time, or 25, turned 26. And everybody was like either 21, 19, in that range. And I looked around. I said, oh, yeah, there's some people that have been trained because some of them they were talking about the school they were at. And I said, you know what? I'll do it. They said, oh, you going to be a writer? I said, all right. But I also want to learn this wrestling thing. Let's see how this mechanic is. You got me intrigued. And within the first 2 months, they did our weekly tapings, which were fun. And they talked about me to other backyard feds, so automatically started traveling to PA. I met people like Sunny Kiss in that process passively. And if I know Sunny hears this, Sunny might be pissed that I shared this part, but. Uh, But I met great people like them, and then within the 6 month, I went to them and said, "Listen, you guys got me out of my depression. You guys made me feel like I got more purpose. I found a path. Is there a way I can get somewhere where there's a ring, a bigger ring?" And he said, "We'll take you there." So they took me to ECPW, and that's when I saw Sunny again, and more of like now I'm starting to do their there was someone, not a backyard TV taping day, that everybody come there and train and do their shows and practice, and a lot of guys that's on that show actually wrestle for that company. So this is more of them just getting extra reps and having fun and learning stuff and experimenting. And I got to learn a lot. I met some guys like a guy named Colossus. He was the first big dude I ever like trained with, and I was like, I thought I was a big dude. No, this motherfucker big,
Mm.
motherfucker. Yo, sorry for the curse word, sorry for the words, but that
No,
man
you
big.
good.
I think he's 6'4", 6'4", 445 pounds, and I'm talking about like girth big. I'm like not no like I'm like Jesus Christ. And then I met a few other guys like Rocco, a few young guys. Well, I say young because I'm older than them, but they've been wrestling longer than me. And then Gino Caruso saw me, and I got referrals from some of the guys that he trusts, and he told me straight up, "Hey, you're doing good, man. I see you next week." I said, "Thank you very much." Yeah, he's like, "No, I need you to come on a weekday." And when that happened, I went back from his office to the ring. The whole crew gave me a round of applause. I was like, "Yo, why y'all applauding?" He's like, "Dude, he just asked you to go on the main roster." So within literally a 6 to 7 month me of doing the backyard, I got into face to face hardcore of independent wrestling, learning the full techniques, wrestling with great guys like Kenny Bangle, Alex Raymond, which I know Kenny Bangle well,
Hmm.
Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Um, like I said, Sonny Kiss, the Graysons. That's when I first started training with Michael Lando, Ali Rex, Prince Akana, hanging out and learning stuff from Jimmy Snuka. I was surprised to even have that situation.